My attorney said you wouldn't be in this problem if you hadn't. When I met Jayanne, it was because, and I swiped on her, and it was because she was a prime genetic specimen.
With TikTok shutting down tomorrow, I thought today would be a perfect day to do one final update on TikTok's passport bro, oh, they kidnapped my son, Chad2Dad. I'm not going to fluff this up too much, we're going to dive straight in, but before we do, if this is the type of content you like, if this is the type of content you consume, consider subscribing. We're almost at 10,000 and that's always been a goal for me. Consider liking the video or leaving a comment. Everything helps out. I will give us a little bit of a recap. Chad2Dad on TikTok posted a video explaining how his Americanized Filipino wife, after having 2 of his children, is now trying to leave him. He controls all the money, controls her entire life. She has nowhere to go, but she wants to go. Her parents visited. His wife's parents and their children, on the dime of his ex-wife, went to Disney World. During that trip, Chad2Dad disrespected her parents, and that forced her to rethink their entire relationship to the point where he spent Christmas sulking in their basement, just angry that she didn't want to be around him, as a punishment towards her and their children. He said that himself. You can watch the previous videos if you want to. But that's where we are. We have a man who is 30 years older than his current wife, who is pushing 30. She wants to be loved, respected, and raise their children together. He just wants a woman to serve him and not leave him.
I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and this needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works.
Everybody, Chad2Dad here, coming at you with some more rage bait, which I just simply call the truth and reality.
At this point, like, the old man is leaning into the whole, like, oh, takes glasses off. It's rage bait. No matter what I say, you're going to be mad at me. But that's not true. You happen to say things that make people mad because you're a bad person. The ideas you have are stupid. The way you look is stupid. The hair you have, brother, I'd rather see you go bald. But if he puts it into his own head that no matter what he says, people are going to be mad at him, he gets to just say whatever he wants, and he's right. Because no matter what I say, you guys are going to be mad at me. So I could be right, and I probably am. And that's stupid.
Now, I saw my wife post on TikTok yesterday, I think it was, that she has to have permission to get money. Like, yeah, actually, that's true. And when I thought about it, I realized that was pretty fucking embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. I have a pretty big rule, right? I don't do anything in private that I would be embarrassed about people learning in public. That obviously does not extend to, like, things that you do with your partner or like little dumb things you say. That means I would not yell at my partner because, one, that's not something I do. But second, because I would be pretty shamed and embarrassed if she told people. If she was like, oh yeah, he just loves yelling at me. Like, that's gross. So no, I don't withhold finances from my partner, and I wouldn't financially abuse her because, yes, it would be embarrassing and shameful for people to find out.
The money that I earn is the family's money. There's no mine and all that. But, you know, what she said was pretty triggering. So I want to tell you something. I've come up with a plan.
The money that I earn is the family's money, not to spend. That's a man's job. This next part is just, oh, like, if you thought anything else he has said has made you angry so far, get ready. Get ready, get ready. This next part is the most infuriating thing he has said so far, and that is insane, considering the bar he has set. The things he has said, the things he's admitted to casually. Remember that time he said she may not love me, but she's stuck with me, and that's love. Somehow, it's gonna get worse.
And the plan is for Jayanne to earn the money that she wants. And how are we gonna do that? She started a business. She started business as a landlord. That way, she can file taxes and contribute to Social Security. She needs to do that anyway to become a U.S. citizen and learn responsibility with money. Landlords have a lot of responsibility. They have a lot of overhead, right? The construction that I'm doing down here, she's gonna have to pay for that out of the first couple, 3, 4, 6 months of the rent. And any maintenance and support that I give her, she gotta pay me like a handyman. And learn responsibility with money by running a business, profit, loss, everything else. Yeah. Early on in our marriage, after about a year, I just stopped giving her money because I was getting pissed off at the waste, right? And another thing is, I don't feel like a wife should get paid to be a mom, right? You're both contributing to the family with your sweat equity. I do sweat equity as well as cash. And a mom taking care of kids, being a stay-at-home mom, that's her investment in the family. I don't think you should get paid to be a mom. So I don't know if this will work, but I think I found a way for Jan to generate the income that she wants, contribute to her citizenship, and earn the money that she has so that she can be more responsible for it. And stop saying that she needs permission from me to spend money or to get money. Thanks. Bye.
I've learned so much from TikTok. I don't know how much of it is actually true, but I've learned so much from TikTok, and I've been given so many thoughts that I would not have thought of myself. One of which being a stay-at-home mom sucks because you don't get to put anything into Social Security. And if your husband leaves you at that point, you're done. You're done. You're not getting anything. There is no real man on this planet that is going to tell you that working to raise your children is not a job. No, I don't have the idea that you should be sitting there handing her $20 an hour, but she's raising your children, which you said was your dream. This man said his dream was to have kids. You should be on your knees, thankful, begging God every day to take you out of here before he takes her. Your entire dream, according to you, was to have children. So why are you not kissing the feet of the woman who had them for you? Does that not sound stupid?
It's unfortunate to see how restrictive I am with Jan in finances. It's actually called boundaries. Restrictive sounds so evil, but boundaries sounds like, yeah, maybe I have a case for my complaints.
Guys, I'm not restricted with money. I'm not financially abusive. I have boundaries. My boundaries are, you must ask me for any and all money you want to spend. You're not allowed to spend any money you didn't earn yourself. But no, guys, that's not abuse. Those are my boundaries. Like, I earned this money. All she did was stay at home with my kids, dude. Anyone could have done that, except me. Boundaries are like, hey, I don't like being yelled at. I don't yell at you. Boundaries are like, hey, maybe don't let your parents yell at me for no reason. That's weird. Hey, I don't like when you spend all of your time on Instagram following random models. That's a boundary. Not, hey, Jayanne, as a boundary, you have to ask me for every single dollar you want to spend.
Hold the phone, folks. Chad2Dad here, otherwise known as Off-Brand Alec Baldwin. You did some digging into my past. You found my website. You found my first son's website. And you're still focused on what a bad guy I am. Yet, there is a child out there, now 5 years and a couple months old, who's never seen his father since he was 2 months old, living in a foreign country illegally because his mother kidnapped him and took him there. Like it was my fault everything happened the way it did? Yeah, of course it's my fault. It's always the man's fault. It's not the government's fault or the woman's fault or anybody's fault other than the guy.
If you've had this number of women, I think we're up to a total of 4, counting women that I've not talked about in these videos that we haven't gone to, try to get away from you, call you a narcissist. Yeah, I do think it's your fault. I do. She left without money, without any form of security. She left to get away from you, to get her son away from you. And you're still going to call these women gold diggers, dude. It comes all the way back to the thing he said where it's like, more rage bait, no matter what he says, is going to be right. So he's going to call them all gold diggers and you can't convince him otherwise, even though there's multiple women who have left him without taking the money. Cool, dude.
My attorney said you wouldn't be in this problem if you hadn't fucked the bitch. Okay, be that as it may. There's still a child in Vietnam who was born in Hawaii, is a U.S. citizen, is there illegally. His visa has expired. The husband of his mother is doing nothing to try and bring them back. In fact, he did everything he can to get them there and keep them away because he's off the hook. He's the legal father, even though I've already been determined in court as the biological father. That poor child, Rock Roller, is stuck in Vietnam.
I know so many dads, that if they were in that situation, they would fly to Vietnam and they would find that kid themselves. I don't think he should do that because he's a bad person. But I know so many people in this situation where if their children were actually kidnapped, they would go and get them, regardless of what country they're in. They would die looking for them before they came back without them.
Chad2Dad, yeah, that makes sense. Chad2Dad here, coming back right away after my last video that I just posted, and within 10 minutes, there's over 100 comments. And then that post was about Rock, my first son. And what's really concerning me are all the people talking about DV. Okay, first of all, that's defamation if it's unproven, because there's no DV going on. Let me tell you what DV really looks like. I had been in a relationship for 6 years with a single mother of 2, and they lived with me in my nice apartment. And that relationship ended because we had a big fight. And the fight was over how I talked to the news media outside the smoldering remains of a house that burnt down across the street from her parents' house. Anyway, the news crew showed up, and the news gal asked me a couple questions, and I just basically told the same story. And then afterward, my girlfriend was pissed. She's like, "Why did you talk? Why did you describe?" I said, "I don't know. Why not?" And she said, "You're just a narcissist. You just love attention. You just like the spotlight." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Okay.
Brother, so if your entire life women have been calling you narcissist, consider that you may be a narcissist, which somebody in the comments said.
So domestic violence is real. And it isn't automatic that it's the man doing the violence. The woman can do the violence too. So just be careful with any defamatory accusations of DV, because that's not what's happening between J-Ann and I. Okay? Just want to make that clear. Thanks. Bye.
I cut out the part where he talks about his girlfriend hitting him over the back with something because it's just so unnecessary. Like it's like a 3-minute rant. So that's what it is. He goes, domestic violence is this physical violence. Financial abuse isn't real. Yelling at her isn't real. Snatching keys out of her dad's hand, yelling at her parents, yelling at her sister, not real. The only form of abuse is abuse that I've suffered. He is his first child becoming an adult years away from being one of the estranged parents. Congratulations on becoming somebody who had children. I wish you had wanted to be a good father. And I'm not even talking about the relationship he has specifically with his children now. I believe a good father wants to have and tries really hard to have a good relationship with the mother of his children. That's a big part of being a dad. And if you refuse to do that,
you're making this up. You know, you're just making up this drama for views. You know, you both like social media, and it's just bullshit. And I said, no, we were liars before this.
That's an accusation from his ex-wife that they're making this up. And that's something that I've gotten a lot in my comments is, hey, they're both on social media. They're both on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. They're both probably making this up for attention. I don't think they are. They could be. He's almost at 50,000 followers on TikTok. But for those of you who don't make content online, it's not actually that much money. Like for one of his videos where he gets 500,000 views, he's probably making $20 to $30. I don't think it's money worth the embarrassment that he is giving himself and his family. And she's only posted 2 videos in the time that she's been monetized on TikTok. Could they be doing it for attention? Sure. I don't think they are.
We were kidding ourselves before the Disney World disaster. You know, we were putting out there that we were this perfect couple who had beaten the odds, that we could overcome the age gap, culture gap, power gap, and everything else. And that I, late in life, achieved my dream of having children, and she achieved her dream of getting out of poverty. No, that was the lie.
We beat the age gap. We beat the age gap allegations. It's never going to work. I was 40 when she was born, but we beat the age gap allegations. Let's go, bro. Congratulations on successfully being a predator. I'm not going to say I'm proud of you because you're going to believe me. And I'm not. I'm just not. I achieved my dream of having children. You had one before her. She achieved her dream of getting out of poverty. How wild is that to say? I chose her to have my kids. She chose me because it was her only way to not be poor. I don't enjoy the power dynamic. I'm not a big power play kind of person, but we'd be stupid to think that a 60-year-old man looking for somebody in their 20s isn't immediately a power play. That's all it is. That's all it has been. Like, he wanted to raise a child that would be willing to sleep with him.
I've always believed, and I do believe Jan believed, that it was driven by love. It doesn't override the transactional nature of our relationship, the way every relationship has transactional natures. But it's gotten really real because Jan and I have been talking, and she's going to go back to the Philippines. Here's the letter. Hi, baby loves. I'm writing you a letter to tell you formally that I will go back to the Philippines on my second trimester, second week of April 2025. I know that it's going to be hard on you, me taking the kids back to my home country, but I think it's going to be the best decision to work our falling relationship. I would also like to have a written letter that you are allowing me to take the kids, allowing me to take the kids with me. I don't want to be in a position where I am being accused of something I have no intention of doing. The kids will be taken care very well with my family's help, as well as me during this pregnancy. I hope this time frame being away would also help you to focus on your work and business, Jan. So the plan is she will go back because she will get better support from her family there. Because here in Hawaii, it's just us. It's just two parents, raising two toddlers, and now, a third on the way.
So Jayan has been really, really nice to and about him leading up to this. And I hope to God that it's because she wants to get out. I've had so many comments asking to start a GoFundMe for her. She has asked that we not do that. She had a whole video about how she's really just trying to fix her family. And I do believe her. I actually really do believe her. But I'm hoping she's lying, and I'm hoping she goes to the Philippines and just stays there. For her, for her kids, for her actual family that loves her, I hope she just stays there. And if she wants to start a GoFundMe at that point, cool, we can contribute to that. Oh, but I'm just hoping she gets out.
For me, it's if it's a willing departure, then I trust that she comes back. She wants to come back in the final trimester and have our third child here in Hawaii, because it's better to have a child in America. That's a good part of being Americanized, I guess, because our first child was born in Manila, and he contracted meningitis in the hospital and was in NICU for 14 days. And then she's trusting me to take care of them, provide them with everything they need while they're there. And the hardest part will be, for me personally, being away from my children. And I know it will be hard for Jayan because, I'm very bonded to them. They're very bonded to me, and she enjoys seeing that. That's what a family is. But it's also the reason why the Disney World trip happened and not her going back to the Philippines because she was homesick. I know she mentioned in an earlier post that I reneged on an agreement that she could go back for a couple of months. And the real reason I reneged on that is because after I'd agreed to it and actually booked the tickets, I was going to be without my children for 3 months. And it wasn't a bad renege or, cancellation, because all I said to her was, just picture yourself being without Race and Rocky for 3 months. And it was settled that way, to be continued with something else. And the something else was the grand Disney World trip. And I'm going to talk about that again, because I want to give more explanation as to why I was rude and disrespectful to her parents. But it's late, and I just need to process what we're going to do.
The way I remember him canceling her trip to the Philippines is her going, okay, I'm going to go, him going, I'll book the ticket. And then last day before she was supposed to leave, he found a random reason to get mad at her and canceled it. And most people in my comments were like, I don't think he booked the ticket at any point. And I don't think he did either. But yeah, that was it. He again is going to find really calm ways to explain how things just end up happening. But they're always bad things. And it's so stupid. Is there a difference in how bad something is if it's said versus when it's yelled. Like, I canceled your trip versus I got mad at you and canceled your trip. It's kind of the same thing.
Her risk is much greater than mine. I would like you to tell all the husbands fighting fires in Los Angeles that their risk is less than their wives.
Also, he just starts dropping fire references from LA for no reason. No reason. First off, there are plenty of women fighting the fires in LA. I don't know how to tell you that it's not just men. I'm pretty sure the fire chief was a woman. I could be mistaken. But also, like, there are people losing their houses. And she's worried about me abusing her. Ungrateful.
If we don't set boundaries on our spending and think about the future of our children, and we use it all, the money, for lifestyle or entertainments and luxury, then we have run out of water to put out the fire. And so what you're advocating, based on feelings, nothing else, and what millions of people are advocating JN do, is let this house burn. So this is not about control, this is about protection. If a firefighter runs out of water, then the house burns. My job as the breadwinner and as a dad is to make sure we have enough water to put out the fires that are going to come in the future.
He compares her spending habits to the fires, right? If I let her spend money, she's going to burn our house down. She's asking to have money to probably feed herself whenever she wants and then visit her family in the Philippines. You have a 4-story mansion. You can't afford for her to just like have basic necessities and to see her family? Or you can't afford to let go of control. Why would you marry someone who you don't trust with money to the point where if you gave them access to your money, your family money, they would spend it all? What?
We have a serious problem in our relationship. And she definitely wants to go back to the Philippines, and I support that. And there's a lot of risk involved in that, not just between us and the trust factor, but physically. She's pregnant. Tell me, unfiltered, what you want out of life with me.
He writes like a whole poem that I'm not going to leave in here. And then he has a quote that says, they don't tell mothers don't stay in an unhappy marriage for the kids' sake. And they tell fathers to beg, spend, submit, fight, sacrifice, bleed, and suffer hell for the kids' sake. You've done none of those. You've done none of those. He quoted himself, Chad2Dad. He has an entire video dedicated to why he started social media, and it was because he and his wife were having problems, and so he wanted to document those problems and the way that they worked them out. And he says that on her YouTube channel, they ended up just doing a lot of postmortems, a lot of like, this is after our fight, and this is kind of what we think. We can look at those at another time. It won't be now. But that just seems weird to be like, hey, we're fighting so much. Why don't we just put it online? Doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound so fun to you? That way, like, if it's recorded, you're not scared of me hitting you, and I'm not scared of you leaving me.
Hey, Chad2Dad here again, broadcasting from my basement bunker, which is actually the second floor of my 4-story mansion in Hawaii. The first thing is the fires in LA. You know, it really puts into perspective the problems that I'm having. Now, JN and I are still separated. I've been living downstairs. This is my inner sanctum, if you will. I'm doing my own laundry and folding my own clothes. And I go upstairs to play with the kids, and we've been talking a lot. And we haven't resolved a lot of the issues because they stem from the disrespect that I gave to her family and the perceived disrespect that I received too. And I can't gloss over that with a simple apology just to move on and make things nice again. There's some fundamental problems with our different expectations of what, you know, mothers and fathers do and are supposed to be for a family.
He also talks a lot about the perceived disrespect that he got from her and her parents and her sister. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. You are older than that entire group. You are the father in that group, right? It's your kids that are in that group. If you're being disrespected, If you really, really think you're being disrespected, and I don't think he was, because he's just alluded to it so many times, and not once has he dropped a single thing, you will shut up, you will deal with it, you will get home, and you will talk to your wife about it. You will set a boundary that includes not letting her parents disrespect you. But you're telling me that you'll put everything else out on the internet except the way that you were actually disrespected? No. No, you're just stupid. What if he just doesn't get it? What if he just doesn't get it? What if her parents are just like from a generation younger than him and he doesn't understand the way they joke? Or they ask him real questions, right? Like her parents sit down and they're like, so what was it like when you guys got color TV? Which is a fair question for his age. And he takes offense to it. I feel like there's just people being people in his life and he doesn't like that. He can't control the people in his life. He can control her. That's his wife. All right, Adnan. But he can't control like her parents, and that's a problem for him. He's also probably walking around frustrated because he's not going to be himself around them, because to be himself is to be this like aggressive, controlling dick of a person, and he knows not to do that around her family. And so being with her and other people is going to be a problem because he's going to be sitting there just festering, just boiling inside, going with all the things that he wants to say and do, but knows that he can't in public.
Because I have listened to y'all, and where I don't agree that I'm an abusive, controlling old dude.
Wait. Which part do you not agree with? Old? Old. Sorry, I'm old. So if you're older than me, you're also old. We're part of this together. Abusive? You just said she doesn't have access to any money. At the very least, that is financially abusive. At the very least. Controlling? You are. You just are. With the way that you control her spending, the way that you control probably what she gets to say online. And I think the act of removing yourself from familial situations as punishment is also a form of control. Because you're telling her that it is her fault that the children are not getting time with their dad because you want to sulk in your basement for Christmas. That's controlling. That's controlling. That's like when kids go, I'm going to hold my breath until you do this for me. Or, okay, well then I'm not going to eat, which is also, he did that. He did that at Disney World, right? He was like, I'm not going to eat that. The worst part about this is that angry people live to be so old. like she might die of old age before him.
But I just want you all to know that we are working on things. It's not lovey-dovey, but it is progress. And all of your comments are helpful, as mean as they are. Hey, Chad2Dad here. Yeah, I have 4 children. I have my lineage. My DNA and my genes are going to survive. My weirdo-ness has actually been selected for survival. You know, I've been married twice. Obviously, I have women who want to mate with me and bear my children. And after this, I'll probably have some more.
If you're attracted to men, you could do so much better than people who talk this way.
Hey, Chad2Dad back. First of all, Jay-Ann is not a caretaker. She's a mother. She's a mother of her own children.
Right. She's a mother of her own children and she's a caretaker of you. Move on.
Chad2Dad here, coming at you with something to really trigger you. And it's the core of relationships. Aside from all the modern romanticism and social expectations of modern relationships, it comes down to propagation. It comes down to making children. And this one's going to really twist you. When it came to meeting and dating and marrying and having children with Jay-Ann, I was very specific in what I wanted. And right now all we're talking about is the core of the relationship, having children. Now, after the abduction of my first son, I was faced with 2 choices. One was to just sit and wallow in my misery and my longing. There was nothing I could do about that. And those of you who want to argue family law, just know that the last court order is very clear, that nothing can be done until the court can speak to my first son's baby mama, and that'll never happen because she's in Vietnam. The second choice that I had was to move on, to pursue my dreams of becoming a dad. Now, my doctors and my therapists and my lawyers all agreed, move on. Don't sit and be a victim. So when I went on to OkCupid, I had the world at my fingertips. I could have gone anywhere in the world and matched and dated any woman. But I went to the Philippines, Manila in specific, because I live in Hawaii, and it's really a stone's throw from Hawaii to the Philippines. My first wife was also American Filipinas. I was very bonded with her father, and so, you know, I had a connection to the Philippine culture. So for those of you who are saying I just was preying on a poor country or women in a poor country, yeah, get out of here.
But you did. You did. You very purposefully picked someone who did not have the money to sustain themselves. You could pick any country you want, as long as the women in that country were not self-sufficient. Oh, the Philippines is so close. You know what else is close? The country you're currently in.
When I met Jayan, it was because, and I swiped on her, and it was because she was a prime genetic specimen. She was tall, she's thin, great musculature, great physique. And yeah, I was looking for someone to have children with, that those children would get the best genetic stock. Now, I know that's creepy, and I know that's, you're going to say, ooh, because most people, the common person, the consumer of romantic music, movies, and other stuff, don't think that way. You all think that relationships are based on love. They are, but they are also based on very primal instincts that you're not even aware of. But you know who is aware of it? The elites, the people in charge. They think that way. Do you think super rich people don't select at some level, either consciously or innately, for genetic improvement? It's going on, so don't kid yourself.
There's no way Beyonce decided to have kids with Jay-Z for his genetics. Chill.
And all men, whether they admit it or not, whether they are conscious of it or not, when they are attracted to a woman, they are attracted to primal urges that they don't even understand. They want someone who's healthy. They want someone who is going to render healthy children.
This part about like wanting someone that's healthy and like subconsciously being attracted to women because of their health. I like looked at my partner and I was like, you have asthma, dude. We laughed real good.
So for those of you commenting the narrative that I'm just a creepy old man feeling my mortality, I just wanted to have a young woman to take care of me, fine, think that way. But a lot of men, including myself, we think a lot deeper. This is my Roman Empire.
What is your Roman Empire? Mine is Germain prime numbers. Do not ask me why. I just spend most of my time thinking about numbers. Oh, if you don't know what a Germain prime is, I'm so sorry. This is somehow worse than all the bad people I've introduced you to. A Germain prime is a number when doubled and had one added to it. That number is also a prime number. So for example, 2 is a Germain prime because when you double 2 and add 1 to it, you get 5, and 5 is a prime number. And that's my Roman Empire.
It's not about the past, it's about the future. You women out there who are commenting, just understand, you live in the present. You live in the absolute now, in the moment, enjoying that fine dinner that you're eating, putting on your makeup, putting on a nice dress. It's all about the now. The feminine mind is about the now. The masculine mind is about the past and the future. It's on either side of the now. And my particular focus right now is the future.
My particular focus right now is TikTok getting banned, me being sad about it. Me being somehow more sad that I sat through every one of this man's videos. This is not just an easy way to waste space. This man is an easy way to just destroy said space and the people around him. I feel so bad for any of the women who have just fallen into the trap of being in his life. Oh, you have superior genetics. You're not attractive. Your hair is thinning. I don't get it. You're controlling, you're manipulative, you're boring. Somehow that's just up there with them. You're boring. You're boring. You're boring. You're a boring old white man. Congratulations. I hope that when she goes to the Philippines, she doesn't come back, and I hope that another woman does not fall for you. I don't care how much money it is you have. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care if you live in a 4-story mansion. You have earned the right to nothing but bad things in your life, and I hope that you get all of them. This is hopefully the last time we are updated on Chad2Dad because TikTok is going down, but I know that he has a lot of videos on JN's YouTube channel where they talk about their relationship, so we might take a look at those. But that's going to be it for me. Please, if you made it this far, subscribe, like the video, drop a comment. I am going to go edit this and then think about what I've done. Happy divisional round weekend. I am down to 3 chapsticks.